Hi there, it's Vladimir. Today is 31st day of my commitment. I talk to the camera for 15 minutes every day, working on my grammar, pronunciation, trying to avoid fillers and speak with clarity. So now I'm going to talk about grammar. I'm going to start from focusing my attention on perfect grammar and silent pauses. I'm still struggling with making pauses at the end of the sentence, so I think it's a skill which I need to master. There are certain things which I'd like to talk about today. One of them is communication functions. Recently I talked about the elements of communication, then about the characteristics of communication, and today I went on and read an article about communication functions, and I'd like to just talk about them to understand better what I read. So there are three main functions according to the book which I'm reading, Communication Works. These functions are self-other understanding, which is communication helps you understand yourself through interacting with others. You talk to the people, you share your ideas, they give you feedback, and you may see whether or not your ideas are decent, engaging, interesting, fascinating, whatever. When you understand others, you may also understand yourself. So some people might tell you what they want, what they fear, what they like, and you may just compare it with your own perceptions and see how it works. Sometimes you'll discover that what you like, other people don't like, and what you don't like, other people like. So communication helps you to figure out better who you are, what you're doing, how you're doing it, etc. So self-other understanding functions. So what's the function? What's the point to talk to other people or to communicate with them through writing? It's just, it helps you to understand who you are, helps you understand better your experience and what does it mean to be a human, what does it mean to be a man. Okay, so the next function is building a meaningful relationship, which is something I failed recently. So I don't think it was because of communication. Communication was one of the reasons, sure, but there were many other reasons. But anyway, so building a meaningful relationship. Communication allows us to fulfill there are three basic needs. And again, it's from the book. There are a need for, I guess it was approval. Oh, I forgot. There were three concepts, three basic needs: approval, affection, and something else. So basically it's about sharing your experience with somebody else and building a relationship just by learning something about another person and comparing their experience with your own experience. When I talk to myself, when I record videos, I don't actually communicate with people, and I can't build a meaningful relationship by just talking to myself. I can build a kind of relationship with myself. Yeah, I think, like, with regards to this book, it's kind of superficial in many senses, since my personal views on this topic are quite different, so I prefer to communicate with myself. I think it makes me better in all actions which I do. It makes me understand myself better just by verbalizing my thoughts and learning from this process something about myself. I don't know, when I start a video, I don't know exactly what I would say. And only in this process I learn what would I say, how would I say that. Is my language sufficient to talk about certain things, or I need more knowledge, more vocabulary, different structures, grammatical structures, etc. So communication helps to establish a relationship, whether it's a relationship with somebody else or even with yourself. But talking about the book and what's written there, I think, it's important to learn to understand other people by giving them an opportunity to talk more. There are often times when we communicate and we want to share our thoughts, our opinions, our feelings, our experience, and we are not willing to listen to other people. And when we want to build a relationship, it's vital to give other people opportunity to express their thoughts, their opinions. And often, again, in my personal experience, I don't like to have different relationships with people. I don't like to have friends. I don't like to communicate with people a lot. I get bored very quickly with people. I prefer to communicate with myself. I like to learn. I like to study all different sciences, philosophy, psychology, reading books, and I find it hard to talk about those things with people, since they usually don't go deeper in these subjects which I study, and all communication turns into something like lectures. So instead of just having a conversation, I always talk, and the people must listen to what I'm saying. And when I give them opportunity to talk, they usually don't talk at all. So they may ask certain questions, or they may say a few phrases, few words, maybe tell something about a recent experience, but then they're silent because, again, maybe it's just my social circle, but the point is that people don't like to share their deeper thoughts because they don't usually have these thoughts, so they don't think a lot. They are working, they are doing certain activities, and there are not too much to say. And in my case, I'm writing every day. I write not only my journal, but also different articles about different subjects, and it's fascinating for me to share all of this with people in dialogues, but quite often I see that it's not interesting to these people, and I don't like to force other people to listen to me. So in there, it's very difficult to establish a meaningful conversation, communication, a relationship with people who are busy with their work and maybe with their families or maybe with something else. And that's why I prefer to communicate to myself, because here I might talk about whatever I like, and I'll listen to myself later, and makes me feel good. That's the point of it. So it makes me feel good when I learn to express my thoughts with clarity, and when I work on my language. Okay, the last function of communication is, from this book, examining and changing attitudes and beliefs. So certainly when we communicate with other people, we may share, again, our opinions or ideas about something, and other people may argue with us, and then we may just compare our ideas with their ideas and see, maybe we will learn always something new from the communication process. And attitudes, it's also when you have a particular attitude towards something like studying language, for example. Imagine that you communicate with people who study language. It's always fascinating, especially with those who have passion about it. So if you, in your social circle, there are 3, 4, 5 people who study language, and if they are engaged in the process, it's always interesting to talk with them, because if you study language too, so you may find lots of interesting ideas. They may tell you something new, something that they learned, or they may just share with you their passion, their excitement, their enthusiasm, and that's always funny. So, and you may, if you don't have a great attitude towards language, you may just surround yourself with people who have, and then you may learn from these people, and you may change your attitude. The same thing applies almost to everything. So if you want to work, if you want to make money, you just surround yourself with people who work and make money, and then you communicate with them. You learn from them. You change your attitude, and then eventually it probably will make you understand better what you need to do to make money. Behavior, it's also a really fascinating idea that through communication you may change your behavior, and also behavior of other people as well. So you may persuade somebody to change. Somebody may smoke, and you may communicate with people, tell them about smoking, and you may persuade somebody quit smoking. And if it works, it makes you feel really good, especially when you persuade other people to do something that you think is important and necessary for a good life. Like, again, studying languages. Imagine that you communicate with people and you persuade them to study a language, and some people start studying a language and they really gain something from that. It makes you feel really amazing and satisfied. Right. So and behaviors, it's not about just changing your behavior from negative to positive. You may do vice versa. You may just communicate with people who drink, who smoke, who do all sorts of stupid things like watching TV, whatever. And you may just, that's also may be interesting. Let's watch TV, let's drink, let's do some stupid activity. Yeah, sometimes it also may be an option. But anyway, so I think it's 12 minutes. I have a few minutes more. Yeah, I had something else to talk. There's 3 functions of communications. I don't like to continue talking about something else. Now it's just one subject, one theme. Next time, and I'm gonna study this book through this exercise. It's really helpful. It helps me to figure out better all these concepts, because now I may speak about all 3 like elements of communication, functions of communication, characteristics of communication, and it enhances my vocabulary. It helps me to understand better my own communications with other people and with myself. And by the way, it's like I'm trying to give as many reasons as possible to just justify this way of studying. But it's fascinating. I do it not just because I need all this information, but because I really like it. It's really fascinating to read a book and then stand in front of the camera and record the video explaining all these concepts which I read from the book. It's not too long, it's 15 minutes, and I also train my language. I'm not just saying that there are 3 functions of communication and I give you names of these functions. I'm trying to explain them. I'm trying to give certain examples, which I haven't found in books, but which I'm trying to make up in a moment where I'm talking about these functions. Yeah, it's interesting. I like it, sure. Yeah, and that's a part of my commitment. So I'm talking to the camera again. It's 15 minutes every day. I'm trying to stay tuned, and I like to maintain this exercise till the end, till 100 days. It's not too easy to talk to the camera every day to find something to talk about, but it's always possible, and I know that it helps me a lot to improve my language, to improve my English, to clarify my thoughts. Another exercise, or no, the way of making this exercise, I am thinking about it quite often. It's just talking random shit. So whatever I start talking, I don't need to prepare anything. I might just see what's going on here on my mind. But it's more difficult than talk about something that I at least can understand, because I also upload these videos on YouTube, and I have to make sure that it's not 100% nonsense. It's something that I may even share with somebody if necessary. But anyway, so I think it's got too long and complicated. I need to finish here. So 3 concepts, 3 functions of communication: understanding self-other understanding, building a relationship, meaningful relationship, and examining and changing beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. That's all. See you next time. Bye-bye.